The following is a paid advertisement. The views expressed are the sole responsibility of the advertiser.
I'm attorney Justin Clark. Coming up just ahead on You Have Real Estate's Relationship and Real Estate. A match made in heaven or a match made in somewhere else? Also, if you own a house, you need to check out your windows. It's all just ahead. It's You Have Real Estate. Your debt does not have to control your life. You have the power to potentially lower or even eliminate your debt. I'm attorney Justin Clark. Call me now for a free consultation or visit youhavepower.com and take back control of your financial life.
You Have Real Estate is proudly sponsored by Renewal by Andersen, your full-service window and door replacement company. Learn more at rbafla.com.
Welcome to You Have Real Estate, presented to you by my very good friends, literally my good friends at Renewal by Andersen. I am your host, Justin Clark. Whether you're a first-time home buyer, seasoned investor, or even looking to sell your home, this next 30 minutes is designed just for you. Think of it like hitting multiple open houses off from your living room with my attorney advice throughout the way. Any questions whatsoever during the program, the phone number is right here on the screen, 407-205-0400. Wonderful show lined up for you today. You will not want to miss a single second. But first, the opening statement. I get this question often. Hey, I want to buy a house with my girlfriend, with my boyfriend, with my husband, with my wife. Real estate and relationships, a very complicated marriage indeed. What do you do? What should you do if you're in a relationship, whether it's husband-wife relationship, you're married, you're just dating, whatever it is, what should you do about real estate in that situation? It's a great question. Also, it's hurricane season almost, right? It is coming. What do you do? How do you protect your house and your family for hurricane season? Wonderful questions that we're going to answer by asking real questions. Every weekend here on the program, we ask real questions to the truly trend-setting people in Central Florida's real estate community. Kick it off today to my right. Return visitor, good friend Dallas Lehman is here. You have mortgage. Hello, Dallas. How are you?
I'm great, Justin. How are you?
And for the first time ever, divorce attorney extraordinaire, family law attorney extraordinaire, Fenya Delfyette is here. Fenya, welcome. How are you?
Thanks so much, Justin. I'm great. Thanks for having me.
And you must get this all the time. You handle divorce cases, family law cases all the time, and it's like, what do we do with our house? And now we're living in this world where almost everyone has equity in their home, Fenya.
Exactly.
Let's say that I'm married, going through a divorce. We do have a house, plenty of equity. What do we do?
All right. So first, there's some questions. Are you both on the deed? Are you both on the mortgage? So we have to sift through that. Then who was putting the down payment? Who was contributing towards the mortgage? So in Florida, marital assets are divided up under a guise of what we call equitable distribution. So even passive income or increase to the value of the home could be considered a marital asset and could be divvied up in a divorce, including anybody who might have put some repairs to the property to increase the value, things of that nature. So it's pretty nuanced and it can be pretty involved.
Well, damn it, this is my house. I'm the man here. I'm going to stay in this house.
Oh, I know.
So you hear that?
I absolutely hear that all the time. Or, well, his name's not on my mortgage, or excuse me, my deed. And guess what? If you're married and living in that house in particular as the marital home, then both of you potentially could have a claim for some equity in that home. And if you're both on the mortgage, well, obviously you both have a responsibility, but it also could be a responsibility beyond the divorce in terms of getting refi and who's going to buy whom out.
Yeah, and for the record, I'm allowed to use a Southern accent. I'm from Tennessee, so I have carte blanche to any Southern accent that I want.
It's natural.
Yeah, my family's from Rockwood, Tennessee, population 4,000, I believe.
Wow.
Oh, nice.
So, the good news, though, if you're getting divorced now and you're trying to figure out how to split up the real estate is, if you go back to 2008, 9, 10, 11, 12, no one really had equity. So at least now we live in a time where there is equity. So if one person wants to stay in the house, are they able to buy out the other?
Absolutely. So when we say we're going to sell the house, certainly one of those options is one person buy it or one spouse buy it from the other. And that is definitely, I would say, majority of what a lot of homeowners want to do now, specifically because of the equity, but also for those who have locked in that really low interest rate. They don't want to give that up. So unfortunately, it can cause a little bit of additional litigation in a divorce case when that happens, but it's absolutely a possibility.
Yeah, and that's where, Dallas, you come in often in the situation where someone's working with Fenya and they want to stay, but the other party's not going to go away for free, but I don't have $150,000 cash sitting around. What do I do in that situation? What can I do refi-wise?
Outstanding. Yes, we work together with many attorneys in the office and provide a great solution. But the answer is you're presented with two options. You talked about the first one, which is selling the home to the other person, which means that person would have to, husband or wife, would have to qualify at that point to stay on the mortgage by themselves and thereby removing the other. The other point is refinancing. You can refinance the home entirely, and then the attorneys always come up with a good figure with the parties, and they might say, okay, we're going to refinance the house now, but with that equity that we've been talking about, what we're going to do is there's $200,000 worth of equity. We'll refinance, we'll take that cash out, we will give you so much of that money, but the other party is now going to stay in the house.
Yeah, I mean, don't you think this is something maybe that someone who's going through a tough time should talk about before so they kind of know what they need to do in case they have to refinance? When should they reach out to you?
Absolutely. Anytime they want to. And believe it or not, like I said, in our office, we have 5 outstanding attorneys. There's such a good rapport between all of us. The main goal is to help these people to get them in the best place possible. We all do it from that point of view, and we help them. But you want to know when to make it happen? I've got to be honest. When they're talking with our attorneys, many times they will say, please, I want to introduce you to Dallas. You might want to speak about your options. So there's a point right there. And a lot of times I'm referred by realtors and everybody else.
How often do you see it where it's a husband and wife or a married couple and literally they can't agree on who's going to leave the house or not? How often does that happen?
Very often.
Really? So who decides at the end of the day?
So if we can't come to a personal resolution amongst the attorneys and the clients, we try to mediate and have an intermediary help lead the way, and then ultimately it's the judge's decision, which we never favor, because it's truly a stranger making decision about two people's lives going forward.
Yeah. So, but at some point the judge has to decide.
Has to, absolutely.
Yeah, it's always a difficult time when you have to let a judge decide your future. You know what I mean?
For sure.
And I'm hearing all these things about courts being backed up and divorces taking so much time. And I know it varies, but when someone says, how long does a divorce case take? What do you tell them?
Well, it really depends on how much there is to fight about. And if the two parties are going to be amicable and pretty reasonable, because my theory is you don't have to walk away loving your agreement, but can you live with it? If we can get to that point, 3 to 6 months is not out of the realm of possibility. And again, as you mentioned, depending on the judges and the court's availability. But some of these things, if everybody is fighting about every little thing, that's my fork. That's my vehicle, then we can be in it for years. That's not unheard of.
But it was a hell of a nice fork.
It was.
I love that fork.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
You want the fork or you want to pay me for the next 2 years, right?
Attorney Fenya Delfyette, thank you so much. Come back and see us, please. It wasn't that bad, right? This was fun.
No, it was great. Thank you so much.
Dallas Lehman, always available for your refi needs. Dallas, great job as always.
Always a pleasure. Thanks, Justin.
Here's what we're going to do, a very quick break. When we return, yes, hurricane season, couple of weeks away. We're getting very close to that. What do you do? How do you protect your house for hurricane season? Also, this is like the land of lakes, it feels like. I know that here in Central Florida, we're not necessarily right on the ocean, but we have so many lakes. What sort of windows do you need to protect your home when you're near a lake? As You Have Real Estate continues.
Your debt does not have to control your life. You have the power to potentially lower or even eliminate your debt. I'm attorney Justin Clark. Call me now for a free consultation or visit youhavepower.com and take back control of your financial life.
I love getting out and visiting with you in all areas of Central Florida, but my goodness, if you have not been to Sanford recently, you need to. Viv's in your neighborhood.
I'm highlighting Sanford, Florida this week, and I'm in what's considered downtown historic Sanford. Throughout the area, you'll find brick-lined streets and along First Street, many storefronts that not only provide unique products, but some amazing restaurants and breweries. I attended Porch Fest last weekend, and what a fun experience. If you haven't gone, try not to miss it next year. More than 15 bands played on the porches of these historic homes in Sanford. All you need is a blanket, chair, and your friends to enjoy this free concert. You can't talk about Sanford without mentioning Hollerbach's and why people return to this old world German restaurant for good food and music. Let's find out what the owners think about Sanford and their loyal customers. So I'm here with Christina Hollerbach, and I wanted to ask her why she feels this restaurant is so popular in this area.
So I feel that we're popular because we serve Gemütlichkeit. Gemütlichkeit is a sense of well-being shared with family and friends over good food and drink. So whenever people ask me what do we sell, yes, the food is part of the experience. The pop, polka band is part of the experience, but it's everything together that creates Gemütlichkeit that I think brings us our success.
And since 2001, I remember just the first floor. Have you grown since then, or?
We initially had a 60-seat restaurant with about 7 employees, and right now we're about 160 employees and seats 700. We see about 8,000 guests a week.
That's amazing. I really enjoy this place. What do you think your best dish is?
Whenever somebody asks me what my best dish is, I'd always I can only narrow it down to 3 things, where it's schnitzel, sausage, or wild card. And for me, that's always classic Wiener Schnitzel, the Weisswurst sausage, and the Eisbein, our pork shank, as my wild card item.
I would have to say my husband agrees. So you guys do something really original with this big boot full of beer. Tell me about that.
So we are well known throughout Central Florida and beyond about Das Boot, which is more of a German-American tradition than it is German, but it's a great way to celebrate with others. And it's not about one person sitting there and drinking 3 liters of beer by themselves. It has to be part of a group where you're sharing the experience with each other and accomplishing something fun together.
Well, I haven't done it yet, but maybe next time.
Bordering Lake Monroe, Sanford became a major port for Fort Mellon and also boasts being one of the oldest incorporated cities in Florida. With access to St. Johns River, companies like the St. Johns River Ship Company offer day and evening cruises for their guests. The average household income is about $80,000, and the median home value in 2023 was $356,000. With so much to do, Sanford has attracted the attention of buyers who want to live in historical areas and use Riverwalk with its gazebos and benches, and it has several miles of pedestrian walking paths for the 2- and the 4-legged kind. It's also home to the Central Florida Zoo, which in addition to animal attractions has an annual Asian festival which should not be missed. If you want more information on purchasing a home in Sanford, call me at 407-205-0400.
When I think about hurricane season approaching, and I think about hurricanes in general, and it feels like we've had 1 or 2 almost every year, even though they haven't been horrible here in Orlando at least, they're still kind of scary, especially if you have a family and you're thinking about your little kids in bed. The most scary part to me is when I hear the windows just shaking, and you can almost feel them, and you almost worry about them flying into you. That's what I think about anyway. And windows to me are so important when you start preparing for hurricane season. So happy to be joined by my good buddy, Dan Brigman. Dan, Renewal by Andersen, obviously you do windows, but am I being a wimp here or not? You know what I'm talking about, right?
Absolutely, Justin. I mean, it's like a freight train driving by your house, right? Things start shaking, and we just never know what is going to happen with those windows. I mean, we hear stories all the time, whether it be a tornado or a hurricane, those windows coming out, the house decompressing, the roof coming off, and bad news.
Yeah, and if you own a house, by the way, I'm putting a QR code on the screen right now for you, because as generally when Dan visits, he normally has a little bit of a special offer for you, for our viewer. We'll see what that is at the end, though. But QR code on the screen right now if you want to get your windows checked out. You brought a friend. Who is this?
This is Nate, and he happens to be one of our nation's top design consultants.
Really?
His quality everyday scores, and just an absolute amazing asset to the company. And I said, hey, why don't you come on the show and meet my good friend Justin? And I figured, hey, man, why not? Let's ask him some questions.
I'm happy you did, Nate. Welcome, too. You better come visit anytime you're in town. So when someone owns a home, obviously they're almost constantly thinking thinking of what they can spend their money on to elevate their home, to make their home better. They're like, okay, should I change the driveway? Should I redo the kitchen? Oftentimes when your roof is messed up, you know it's messed up and you have to. I think that they are undervaluing at some point the importance of windows when it comes to their home. Not just value, we're talking about aesthetics and everything. How do I know, though, as a homeowner, when it's time to really check my windows out?
Anytime that you see any kind of intrusion or you feel the radiation coming from the other side, if you're not getting the temperatures you need, you're not only losing energy, but you're uncomfortable. So it's best to find what's most comfortable for you while also being aesthetically pleasing. So a lot of people don't understand how much a window replacement will actually affect the look of their home entirely.
And I don't think that they think either. Sometimes they'll go stand next to a window and be like, damn, it's hot over here.
Mm-hmm.
That's probably a bad sign.
Absolutely, it is.
And they also think about electricity bills. And they're like, well, I'll get solar to try to save on the electricity bill. How do new windows affect my electricity bill?
It basically encapsulates your home. So you keep the cold air in and you keep the hot air out during our summer months, which we pretty much have an extended summer in Florida. And in the cold months, I've actually had a lot of complaints of how cold it is.
Really?
Yeah, it's they're very adamant about how cold it is, and as surprising as it is, they're mostly Northerners.
Is that right?
Yeah.
I love it. And Dan, back to you on this electricity bill for a second, because I have never, over the last couple of years, I've never had more people come up to me complaining about their electricity bill. I don't know what it is. I think the utility companies have been raising rates, and this is having an impact on the finances of families. It is. Their insurance is going up, their taxes are going up, their electricity bills are going up from sometimes $150 to $300. What you have done at Renewal by Andersen is created a way to really reduce that electricity bill by installing new windows, but you let people sometimes pay over time where it almost pays for itself.
Absolutely, Justin. We have a lot of great finance offers and things like that, but let's talk about this energy just for a quick second. So if we took our whole house and we laid it in a straight line, 1/4 of that line from top to bottom would be glass. 25% of your home is made up of glass. So that's one of the reasons, as these energy companies continue to raise energy costs, glass replacement is more important than it's ever been. And what you can do by replacing that glass, 25% of your home is glass, by replacing that, you're going to reduce that energy bill anywhere from 20 to 30%. You've got an energy bill, what, $250, $350, $450? By the time you do that, these windows have paid for themselves over time, but more importantly, your energy bill has gone down and you're staying comfortable.
And I like this investment for people as well, because especially if they're paying over time, right? It's almost not going to cost anything because of what they're saving.
Yep.
But I believe that new windows positively affects the value of their home.
100%. I call it curb appeal. I mean, if I'm driving by a home and I look and I see a home that has Renewal by Andersen windows in it, your home just pops, all right? But when you talk about energy savings, most people don't think about that when they're out buying a home, right? You see an ad on real estate, hey, home has new windows. Well, the first question you need to ask yourself is, what type of windows do they have? And there's low windows, there's high-end windows. We all know that, but that will dramatically affect the cost.
Nate, I know I need new windows because I hear them banging when the storm comes through. I'm hot when I stand next to them. I know I need them, but I don't know what I want. I don't know what I need. How does that? I know I need to call you, but I literally don't know what I need from that point. How does it work once I make that call?
Well, we basically assess what the needs are together. We spend a lot of time working through exactly what your most concerns are, and then we isolate that and we pick out everything together to make it exactly the project you'd like.
Yeah, so this whole design process, tell me about that.
Basically, we start with the assessment, then we walk through and we measure everything out together. I go through every single option that you absolutely need, and then we figure out the protections that you'd also follow up with and make sure that it's the best option for you.
And Renewal by Andersen is the best option. Dan, go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to say, Nate here is on one of our pilot programs where we are bringing in the iPads, and we have virtual reality, we have augmented reality, we have all types of things where you can see what this is going to look like. And so we're building your dream. I always tell people, look, if you're looking for a salesman to come out and sell you windows, you're not calling Renewal by Andersen, because we're not very good at sales. What we are good at is we're good at finding out what you want, because this is your house, this is your dream, and we just want to make it come true.
A nationwide company, growing like crazy, but growing because you're doing everything right. It's always amazing to see here and witness the growth and all the happy customers that could call me and say, thank you for hooking me up with RBA. Keep up the great work, guys.
Thank you.
And if you need to talk, all you have to do, it doesn't cost anything for them to come to your house and say, you know, maybe you don't need new windows, or yes, you do, and this is how it's going to benefit you. This whole process costs you absolutely nothing. Wonderful job. You come back. Can you come back and see us?
Absolutely.
I feel like I didn't scratch the surface with Nate.
Yeah.
All right, good to see you guys. Do yourself a favor. Call Renewal by Andersen today, or hit the QR code that is on the screen right now. A very quick break. You have real estate continued. Here we are at Burn Fat Orlando. 20,000 of you have trusted Burn Fat Orlando to lose weight, but also do it the right way by burning fat. We're here with the founder of it all, Dr. St. Germain. Doc, how have you done it? You've helped so many people. How have you done it?
Yeah, years ago, we created a program that was just a diet, but we even stepped up and we created a program that now you not only lose weight, but of course you burn the fat. And there's two different things there. Losing weight, you could just stop eating, right? But you'll probably gain the weight back, right? At Burn Fat Orlando, you'll lose 20 to 40 pounds within 40 days. We have a step on the scale money back guarantee, and plus we ship nationwide too. So
can't beat it.
Everything is really cool. It's very simple, fun, easy, affordable, and most importantly, effective.
A lot of people out there think that these diet weight loss programs are nothing more than snake oil. Couldn't be anything further from the truth here at Burn Fat Orlando. No needles. How does it work? How do you convince people to do things the right way?
Well, very simply, we customize, create, and we start the patients on a program that's individualized for them. No two people are alike. They store weight, they're fat for certain reasons, and it's not just always about the food they consume. Literally, it's what you do with the food that you eat, and that's really the secret. So, at the cellular level, the body heals, and you go from a fat storer to a fat burner.
Keep up the great work, Doc. And 2024 is the year for you to burn fat. Check out Burn Fat Orlando today.
Have you been threatened by the IRS? You are not helpless. You have the power to fight wage garnishments and fight levies on your accounts. I'm Justin Clark. Call me now for a free consultation or visit youhavepower.com and take back control of your financial life.
Look, I remain bullish on this real estate market nationwide. Certainly when it comes to Central Florida, very bullish on it. But when you look at Ocala and Marion County, I'm telling you, that is the next hot place. It might already be on the map, but if it's not, it's certainly on the national map here very soon. Elisha Lopez is here, Ocala Realty World. Are people starting to recognize what a hot market Marion County and Ocala is regionally and even nationally?
Oh, 100% yes.
They are. And when I think of Ocala, I think 352, because that's the area code. Now, you are up for best of the 352, and I want people to vote because you do such an amazing job on the real estate world in the Ocala, Marion County area. There's a QR code on the screen, too. How do people vote for you in Ocala Realty World?
We made it super easy for them. You just scan the QR code.
Take out your phone right now. The QR code is on the screen.
And click the little box on the ballot. It's like a direct link. I couldn't make it any easier.
We're going to win this thing.
Yes.
And you deserve to win this thing at Ocala Realty World, a place that I've visited many times, of course. There's a feeling that I get when I walk into your brokerage that I don't get at other brokerages. It's a feeling of camaraderie, a feeling of just, it's a happy place. How have you created that?
Well, everything's energy. And I knew that I wanted to have a brokerage when you walk through the door, whether you were a customer or an agent, that when you walk through, you felt that energy, the positive vibes. And, they say like your vibe is your tribe. And we stick to that.
For the last year, people have been telling me I'm crazy because on this show, I've told you that this market is hot and it's not going to come down and it's going to keep going up. Okay, level off, yes, but keep going up. I'm reading the reports, and these are national reports. Home prices grew more quickly at the end of 2003 to finish at an all-time high. It's really still happening nationally. I think that this market is so good. but you can't look at the national news when you talk about real estate in Florida. We are having a full-blown rebirth in Florida, and I don't see it quitting. People are like, well, Justin, we're going to have another foreclosure crisis. We're going to have a collapse. It's not going to happen. It's just not. What do you see for the rest of the year in the Ocala area?
Well, my phone was blowing up with different articles this morning from different real estate, experts that the spring market is going to be absolutely insane and make up for all the lost time for the beginning of the year and last year. So
I totally agree, and I think that obviously you're part of Central Florida is a beautiful one. People are starting to move there. But I think for those of you that are looking for investing in real estate, you want to invest in real estate, but you don't want to be down near Disney World. I think people are missing the boat right now when it comes to buying investment real estate. You've got to look at Ocala. What are people investing in Ocala now?
Well, Airbnbs, just rental properties. We're seeing a lot of homeowners wanting to, keep their original home and then buy another property and rent out their first home for future appreciation because they know how hot the market is.
Yeah.
And inventory is so low.
And the Airbnb market in Ocala is driven a lot by the equestrian community. In the World Equestrian Center, which is a fantastic facility if you haven't been there, people are buying Airbnbs to rent, and they're doing well on it because of the equestrian community. How are the Airbnbs working out for your clients?
Amazing. I mean, it's all profit.
Yeah.
It's just it's a niche and they have to know what they're doing. I think there's a lot of wannabe investors for the Airbnb, but they can learn it. There's a lot of opportunity still there.
I totally agree. Get your phone out if you don't mind. Vote for Elisha Lopez, Ocala Realty World for Best of the 352. QR code is right there. But by all means, if you have some extra money laying around or you want to become a real estate investor, mark my words, you will not regret this decision to call Ocala Realty World to buy investment real estate up in Ocala. Number one, it's still less expensive than if you're going to go try to buy a house next to Disney World to rent out on Airbnb. But there is huge demand for these rental properties on Airbnb because there are not nearly as many of them up there. But yet tourism is going crazy because of so many events they're doing at the World Equestrian Center. While Elisha probably feels like, oh, people have been investing in Ocala all this time because she lives there. If you look more regionally and nationally, it's still a new area, an area that's blooming and blossoming that you can get in early on. I love investing in real estate up there. I really, really do. This year, do you see prices increasing from where we sit today through the end of the year?
Oh, absolutely.
Really?
Yes. Yeah, I mean, they have to. Supply and demand. Inventory is still low. I mean, there is inventory, but it's still not enough for the demand.
I agree.
And it'll just keep going up.
It's going to keep going up. We're going to keep having you on this program. I love it. You've really changed how we view investing in Central Florida real estate because you've really opened our eyes to that whole Ocala, Villages, Marion County area. It's been amazing. Thank you. Good job, Elisha Lopez, Ocala Realty World. Thank you to our amazing team. Most importantly, thank you. See you again next week for more You Have Real Estate.
Did you know that filing for bankruptcy can help you lower your mortgage or car payments or potentially help you eliminate your IRS or credit card debt? I'm attorney Justin Clark. If you find yourself living paycheck to paycheck, call me now or visit youhavepower.com for a free consultation.
The proceeding was a paid advertisement. The views expressed were the sole responsibility of the advertiser.